How's it going, guys? And welcome to episode 3 of The Struggle is Meal. And wow, we made it to episode 3. This is pretty good. Anyway, we're going to be making some stir fry today using some tofu and all these ingredients I have here, which are pepper stir fry frozen, oriental stir fry frozen, stir fry seasoning, cheap, tofu super cheap. This wasn't so cheap. It was like $2.50, but it was necessary. Sweet chili. And we were going to use some chow mein, but I'm trying to save some money here. So we're going to use some old lo mein that I had sitting around that I don't want to go to waste. Nice. And tofu's not that expensive, guys. If you check it out right here, you know me, never capping in my wrapping. 99 cents, you can't go wrong. And you can feed yourself a few times with that one package. And I'll show you how. So I actually pre-froze some tofu that I've previously drained, so I just wanted to put this one back in the fridge because I'm going to use that for some future reference. We're going to go grab this one that I had freezing. So the reason why I freeze it is because it's actually going to help the texture. When you drain it, you put it back in the freezer, the water that's still in it expands and it kind of makes it more of a spongy-like feel, but I'll show you what that looks like later. For now, we're gonna grab my Tupperware that I pre-drilled some holes in because that's gonna serve as a strainer, and we're gonna put the tofu in that guy. And then we're gonna take the holy Tupperware and we're gonna put the tofu in that, and then the holy Tupperware is gonna go inside the solid Tupperware, and then they're both gonna go in the microwave, and we're gonna thaw this bad boy out because the objective of the game is get all the water out. The water is why your tofu tastes like Play-Doh. It just won't get the flavor. So what you want to do is you want to always strain out all that water, and we're going to go through that process together here because that way your tofu will now not only be spongy because you froze it and expanded it, but it's also going to be ready to take on whatever flavor you add to it. So that's the upside. Once that's happening, you want to start to get your stir fry seasoning going, which I already kind of did. You want to mix that bad boy up real quick. I typically use that for the vegetables when it's stir frying, and I use a little bit of it to season the tofu, but we'll see what that looks like in a second. For now, we got this thing drained out. Look at that. And this is the second time I drained the water from it. Before I froze it, I strained out as much water as I could. Now look at this. Also, disclaimer, this is around coronavirus season, so I definitely disinfected my entire kitchen. So don't mind the fact that I just put that on the countertop and you're like, oh, this guy's dirty. Yeah, I actually am dirty, but that's beyond the point. Right now I'm trying to say that countertop is clean. Anyway, look at all that water coming out. Jeez, that's why your tofu tastes like shit. But I'm going to show you how to make your tofu taste like chicken. Look at that, spongy. It's not breaking in my hand. It's not falling apart. It's not crumbling. That's because I froze it. So follow these methods and you'll be really happy, trust me. Look at all that goddamn water though. Yeah, once you get all that out, time to cut. So you're gonna bring it over to your cutting board. You're gonna chop that into how many pieces you need. Since I'm just eating for one tonight, I'll be taking half, and I'm actually gonna turn one half of it into something that I'm gonna cook maybe in another episode, maybe not, but that's just gonna go to the side for now. And then what I'm gonna do then is take this half and I'm gonna cube it, kind of how you see it cubed in a stir fry. Yep, believe it or not, a stir fry. Look at how spongy this is. It's not breaking in my hand, it's just ready to absorb the flavor. So process number 2 or 3, I wasn't counting. You're gonna wanna first sprinkle it with some oil because that'll help it absorb up what you're about to do, which is add some flavor. So then you add some salt because that'll help pull out the excess water. Get that mixed up a little bit, not too crazy. Once you have that situated, you wanna grab a little bit of that stir fry seasoning, like a little bit. Get that in there. You just want to make sure that it has some flavor. You don't want your tofu to just taste bland, so a little bit will do. And last but not least, you want to add some coconut flour. That's going to help in the baking process because it's going to give it that coating. It's going to give it like a bit of flavor as well, and you'll thank me for that. So once you got that all situated in the bowl, you're going to want to transfer that to a baking sheet after you drink some whiskey. Get your baking sheet, lightly grease it because you don't want the tofu to stick to it. Remember to lightly grease it. I made that mistake a few times. Then you're going to evenly spread your tofu on the baking sheet. Preheat your oven to 355 degrees. When you pop the tofu in the oven, you'll bake it for about 20 minutes, and then you'll flip it over, bake it for another 10 or 12 minutes. While that's going on, you're going to pop your pasta in the pot, let it boil. I had to add a little bit more pasta, and I ran out of that, so I added some veggie spaghetti. Not bad at all, really good on the flavor. So yeah, once you boil this bad boy up for another 10 minutes or so, you'll take it, you'll strain out the water, and what I like to do is I'll strain the water, I'll add a little bit of cold water to it, pop it off the fire, I'll put some oil in there and kind of just keep it from sticking to the pot. I'm going to need it, obviously, but not right now. But in the meantime, I'll get the veggies going. Cook my veggies under a high heat. And then I want to add some of that stir-fry mix because I want it to cook down a bit and also add flavor to my veggies. Once cooked down, I add it back to the little bowl that I mixed it in, because what I plan on doing is I'm going to take that and I'm also going to take the sweet chili and I'm going to pop a little bit of that in there, mix it up, and I'm just going to like put it right back in. But I'm going to do that once the tofu's ready, which, oh wow, the tofu's ready. So you'll take that out and check this out. This shit is like nuggets. I was going to say chicken McNuggets, but we don't fuck with McDonald's. But yeah, look at that. It's not falling apart. It's not mushy. That is going in there. And then once that's in the pot, we're going to add that too. But first, the sauce. Get the sauce in there, and guess what? The tofu is absorbing all that flavor, and it's going to taste amazing. I just know it. I can smell it. You can't smell it, but I can smell it. You can kind of smell it with your eyes, though. I know you. And for tongue's sake, I'm just going to add a little bit more sweet chili because I want the flavor to be bussin'. Look at that. Damn. Perfection. And it wasn't that hard to do, which means it wasn't that hard to teach, which means it wasn't going to be hard for you to learn. So let's plate this bitch. You'll grab your tongs, you'll pop a nice healthy portion on the plate, not as sloppy as me, but check this out. That's flavor, and it's not falling apart on my hand. Look, effort to rip that open. Nice and spongy when you bite into it. It's like biting into actual meat. Now, I'm no Chef Ramsay, but I think we did a pretty okay job here, guys. Sweet chili tofu stir fry with the lo mein shining on your plate thanks to rain. You're welcome for that healthy dish. Let's just add a healthy glass of some healthy drink, and you are all set for a bon appetit. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, you're welcome, motherfucker. Peace.